battle we want more. In this case paradise, we're living the dream. Talking about comics and more. It's a nutty team. Today afternoon, just hanging with my crew. No fancy plans, just the things we love to do. Come on, comics that time, we're ready for a thrill. And Rick Blackbird from Cross Comics makes it real. We're chilling and talking about the heroes we adore. Every adventure, every battle, we want more. In this case paradise, we're living the dream. Talking about comics and more. It's a nutty team. Today afternoon.
Hello. How are we all tonight? I hope we are going good. Hopefully that didn't play too long. We don't want private chat. We want comments. I hope everybody is doing good. Starting to have a productive whatever day. I had a good day. Good weekend. Today I went to see Madam Web and Ordinary Angels. And the lucky great thing is there's a cheaper theater where I go see, and it's Tuesday, so I really got to see it cheaper than an ordinary day. So I only paid $3 to see Madam Web. That's probably about all it's worth to see in the theater. Hello, Mike. How are you? Thank you for the like and the share and saying hi and all that. And let me grab the thing here, link, and I'm going to go put that in. I'm going to give it to the Timotei. Warriors, am I sure who's in there? And let's see. I'm not sure whether he'll be able to make it, but let's find a metal. Come on, I would have had metal before this. Okay, we got somebody here. The
Go ahead,
Timotei.
man.
Hey.
Yeah, I fell asleep. I think I missed Mike's show.
Yes, you did. He's in the chat, or he was in the chat. He said he dropped by that he just finished the show and he's dropping by to like, share, and
Yeah, I know.
and all that.
I know. Damn.
Says, can I see if I can get my streamer to work for a few minutes? Yeah. In other words, you want to see whether come on, Elk? You're on. I forget what your thing is on Twitter.
Oh, my thing is on Twitter. Who are you talking to?
No. Elk is saying. Elk, the Elk of Antioch.
Yeah, that guy.
Known as JR for quite some time. He asked me. He says, "Can I see if I can get my streamer to work for a few minutes?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm game with that."
Yeah.
Of course.
So
I just forgot Twitter is. I was going to send him a link on Twitter.
So what's new in the hood? What's going on?
Well, went out, saw a couple movies today, as I was saying. I went and seen Madam Web. It wasn't actually
And
wasn't too bad. I only had to pay $3 to go see it, which is good.
yeah.
So, and then I saw another one that was worth more than the $3, in my opinion, called Ordinary Angels, based on a true story. So,
Well, okay,
I
that's
would
something.
highly recommend Ordinary Angels, Madam Web. It'd probably be all right to see if you got it on a streaming service or something like that, and you can watch it for free.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
biggest
I got to show him. Go ahead.
the biggest
So
problem with sorry.
Yeah, so you
Go
recommend
ahead,
the
Tim.
show?
Yeah, the movie Ordinary Angels. Madam Web, it was all right. If it wasn't supposed to be a Marvel property, it probably would seem better, in my opinion. Uh, just cross comments, just to say. Oh, I'm just using I'm not using Discord at the moment. I'm just using StreamYards entirely. But if you want to come on, Mike, I can open up Facebook and send you a link.
Yeah, I fell asleep. I was out like a light. I literally just woke up. I was like, oh crap. Yep.
So I'll talk. Maybe I'll talk. There was a little bit more in a minute or two. Here's my. Well, not coming in the stream, but found him on Facebook, which wasn't too hard. And just sent him.
Yeah, I got to be slow
Thanks.
about promoting on Twitter. They're really sensitive about that kind of crap.
Okay, yeah, I guess I can do that. Okay, so you drop the link in the chat for a few minutes. I don't have access to my Twitter anymore. I don't think. Okay. Well, it might be good to find out one way or another. Okay. Just before I bring you in now, I'm gonna. Oh no, I don't want to time out. Delete comment.
What happened?
Hey, Elk. Delete comment. Okay, you're gonna have to turn off the volume for YouTube. Elk.
Can you hear me at all?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. It's kind of weird. I can't exactly hear you in StreamYard. I can hear you through my tablet, but not through StreamYard.
Okay, that's weird.
Through my tablet, but
Hey,
not
Mike.
through StreamYard.
Sorry about that. I fell asleep, dude. I woke up and I looked at the clock and I'm like, oh damn it. Maybe he's still
I saw
on.
you were on eventually, and I was a little, well.
Maybe he's still on.
Okay, you might be able to hear us easier if you turn off the volume on the YouTube, because we just keep hearing ourselves. You might be able to hear us. Your mic's picking up the YouTube now. Because we just keep hearing ourselves. Your mic.
Okay, I think I figured out what was happening. Is I can't actually hear you guys. I'm just hearing it through my headphones and not through my regular speakers.
Right.
So I
Which
think I can hear
is
you now.
fine. Some
Yeah,
people
you-
do that.
It's interesting to get the voice behind the guy
Yeah.
who says things in the chat.
Says Hail Xenu.
Yeah. You scamp.
Well,
May Xenu bring his blessings upon us all this eve.
that thing.
Good Night Spoons here.
Hello, good night, student. Well, who do we have? Of course, we have moi, your favorite one. Timothy is with
The
a
legend.
circle with the drawing of Mount Melvin.
Oh,
Of course,
actually,
we have
it's
a
from
mic,
the
Walter,
Azarka
the mic stand, and
story.
then we have. Oh, okay. And then,
Yeah.
of course, now with no longer a brick wall, but a moose somewhere in Canada.
An
Hope
elk,
it's in
for Pete's
Canada and
sake.
not
It's
the
an
States.
elk.
Yes, you're Canadian. Don't you know
So,
that?
Yeah.
so
Oh,
Wapiti Kananaskis or something. Canadus.
He's no longer another brick in the
okay.
wall.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense that you would have a picture of an elk for being elk of Antioch.
It's an Alberta
Make,
elk and
make,
everything.
yeah.
I know.
Making a reference to Pink Floyd there.
Yes, I
I think
was.
I don't know, it's Pink Floyd or Billy Idol, one of the two, I think.
Pink
Pink
Floyd,
Floyd.
the Wall.
Yeah.
And I think
Goodness, says for a minute, I thought we were talking to a brick wall.
I think Elk just proved that that Rick needs to turn in his Canadian card. He's no longer. Shameful.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Well-
not a close-up picture, so
Yeah.
it's harder to
Well,
tell. It has antlers, so
Let
I'm
me,
thinking it was
Elk, let me give you some advice for future's sake when you're coming up things like that. What you're gonna probably want to do is you're gonna want to have the mic and sound on your StreamYard,
Mm-hmm.
and then if you are going to open up a second window like for YouTube, you want to mute that because that's when you get the kind of echo.
The echo. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that advice. I think what was happening was I was able to hear you through StreamYard, but it was through my headset that I wasn't wearing, and it was just sitting beside my computer. So then I thought, oh, well, I can only hear you if I turn on YouTube. So I turned that off and on a couple of times by accident. But it was really that my headset was the one that was picking up the volume.
Is your headset wireless?
No, it's not. It's wired, but I don't know
You
why
had
it
it plugged in?
defaulted to it. Yeah, I had it plugged in.
Yeah, it might be default to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can just go into the settings and change that stuff. And hello, Outcast. Good night, Spoon says, I think you mean Billy
Eilish?
Eilish?
No, Billy Idol is who I'm thought it was, but they did confirm it was just another brick in the wall.
Yeah, that's Pink Floyd, I believe.
Yeah,
I'm not a big music buff, unfortunately.
Actually, I could. Why don't I just here's a novel idea, Mike? Why don't you just look it up? That might.
There you go,
Yeah,
Mike.
that's something we
Mike.
can do.
Yes,
So how was Madam Web?
I can use third person.
He said, I believe Rick said it was an okay movie. He wouldn't. It's not top under of your recommended list, is it, Rick?
No, yeah. Like I did, as I was saying earlier, I went to see Madam Web today. There's a theater here in Chilliwack that on a Tuesday it was only $3 to go see, so
Sweet.
I wasn't contributing much.
Yes,
when it first
was-
came out, they had.
It was Pink Floyd from their album The Wall, I believe. 1979. So
Yep.
yeah. So anyways,
Well,
yeah,
you
I'll
know,
come in for a couple minutes because I want to go grab some dinner here.
Brilliant.
Okay.
I just had dinner myself too.
Well, I mean, you know me, I got to eat something, right? Anyways, thanks for having me on for.
Let's just hope it's food.
Oh snap! Rick,
All right.
shame on
Anyway,
you.
I'll see you guys later. All right. Bye.
But
Rick says, Rick, no, headphones are the way. Speakers equal echo. Yeah, I know. Why do you think I wear headphones or earbuds, whatever you want to call these? Rick doesn't remember movies long enough to have an opinion.
oh snap and a half.
I
Yeah,
have a
but
weakness
yeah, I
for
went to
really
see it. You
bad
know,
genre fiction movies, so I actually would like. Yeah, I'll probably watch it and rewatch it and rewatch it, just like I watch all terrible
yeah.
comic book movies and sci-fi movies.
Well, as I said, it wasn't a terrible movie. If you know who the characters are and all that, that's what I say makes it terrible because they don't stay true to any of the characters, in my opinion. And of course, they don't really end up having their suits on for any length of time or whatever.
Uh,
You know, there's
I
just
like.
a scene when a guy is having a dream of them in the future with their suits on attacking him for whatever reason. And, they just mess up. They mess up even who they make the bad guy, who has been in Spider-Man comics, who isn't really a bad guy, if I'm right, because he's on Spider-Man's side.
Yeah. All I know is they better not mess up Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah. Well,
Because I mean,
Deadpool is a little different than the comics, but I think they keep true to the character, the spirit of the character.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's Deadpool and Wolverine. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, even though he's not as short as Wolverine should be,
Yeah.
he's still recognized as Wolverine.
Yeah, well, I'm just talking about Deadpool, and of course Wolverine for the most part. I think they kept true to the character. Of course, they've changed stuff about him in the movies compared to the comics. Won the hype.
Yeah.
Some
The
of his
Wolverine,
backstory.
the Wolverine, I could watch repeatedly. It's one of my favorites. It's the closest thing we'll ever get to like the late '80s, early '90s Wolverine.
I
Yeah.
live right near where Wolverine was filmed, his origin story.
Oh, the one that had the bad ending.
Yeah, but the beautiful mountain lakes and the mountain roads were filmed in Kananaskis country, which is a sort of a provincial park just outside of Banff National Park. And that
Oh,
was
really?
Lake Kananaskis that they showed as the site of the secret Canadian military base where Wolverine was experimented on or whatever. So, yeah,
Experimented
so,
on.
yeah.
That movie would have
Well,
been
heck,
fine. That movie would have been fine if they went with Mimic instead of like that being some kind of weird Deadpool.
yeah.
I,
With
I'm just saying.
if you remember the original X-Men movie, that was actually filmed partly in Hamilton. The train station and the
Yeah.
outside
Oh,
the
yeah.
train station was. I've went by that place several times. Um, Also, the Incredible Hulk, where he's fighting Abomination, was filmed in downtown Hamilton, and the glass plant or the bottling plant was actually filmed at a plant that used to be a glass plant here
Oh, really?
in
Oh.
Hamilton. And if you remember Shazam, the
Detected
first
a
one,
Cylon escort
there's
fleet, sir.
a convenience store they go into. There's a convenience store that they go into. That
Yeah.
convenience store was in Hamilton as
Escort
well,
group is under attack.
which I did a little thing about.
Are you playing
Okay,
mobile gaming?
who's playing the video game?
Sorry, I will turn that off. I didn't think you could hear that. There we
Oh, it's
go.
interesting. You're playing some kind of.
It's Battlestar Galactica Deadlock. It's
Oh,
just,
really?
it's addicting. Yeah.
Good Night Spoon wants, I guess, you to say, please explain. He says, I believe that was talking about you and liking bad movies. Elf?
Some people
Oh,
like bad movies.
I like bad genre movies. I almost like them because they're bad. I'm trying to think. Like Sleepy Hollow. I lived literally in a cabin in the woods in the national park for like a couple of years, and I just had only a limited number of DVDs, and I just watched like Sleepy Hollow like 4 times a week. And what other bad sci-fi did I have with me? I had like Babylon 5. I had like the first season and like the third season. So I'd watch the first
Well,
season
that's
and
not
watch
that
the third
bad of
season. No, Babylon 5's not terrible, but I mean the special effects are just grotesqueries. I mean, you have to admit, they're just like 80s
Yeah,
wonderful
they're a product of their
badness.
time.
I
Yeah.
didn't think Sleepy Hollow was a bad movie. I enjoyed it.
I love it. I just, yeah, I liked it because it had a Hessian in it, and it had Christopher Walken.
Walking as a Hessian. What more
Yeah,
do you want?
yeah, exactly. That was great. And Johnny Depp, when he
Okay.
still sort of looked good and didn't sort of age and get that permanently stoned look on him all
Oh
the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
But
Yeah. Goodnight Spoon says, no, that was to me. So, okay, what did you want me to explain about Goodnight Spoon? And then he says, well, I'll just write down. He said, Rick, I just found out they messed up Deadpool and Wolverine. Don't tell Timothy. It'll break his heart.
Oh,
Damn it. What'd they mess up about
Well,
it though?
how
he
does
he could
anybody
just be
know?
trolling you too.
Oh,
He
he
could just be
trolled it.
trolling you too. Or he could be telling the truth. I don't know which.
It's not even out yet, so.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, Outcast Comics says Bob Iger is getting involved in the movie and has created tensions between himself and Ryan Reynolds, says Outcast.
That's what I heard too.
Oh, Bob Iger, maybe not Iger. Iger? Okay, that's not good.
Nope.
So the movie's not done yet, so it could affect it or could not. It's hard to tell.
I heard they smoothed that out or something. It was a problem and they had to. But then again, I've heard he's involved. That Rod Reynolds is involved a lot, and then he's not. Something like that.
Yeah. Well, Ryan Reynolds would be involved because he's a lot because he is playing Deadpool, and it was actually his idea to do that first little trailer type thing, which got it the green light to do Deadpool.
Oh, you mean the
Um,
one where it's Hugh Jackman and him and they're trying to explain the movie, but the music cuts it off.
No. I'm talking the original Deadpool trailer, that like the 30-second minute clip before they even made the first Deadpool movie.
Um,
He did that out of his own money and all that.
but that was back with Warner Brothers or Fox or Warner
Yep.
Brothers Fox.
I
So,
think he played into that whole like working under Disney thing pretty well. Like,
Fox.
no more R rating.
yeah. So Iger from Disney is muscling in on him. He's never worked with that studio head before. So
Yeah. I suppose there's gonna be a lot of compromise.
It says, Rick, I'm on. Good Night Spoon says, Rick, I'm on the whatever
Verge?
of beating Verge of beating Night 5. I can't explain what I want to explain about Madam Web. Okay. What I want you to explain about Madam Web. Like I said, I saw it. It was, it was a decent movie. If, it didn't, if, it wasn't quote unquote Madam Web and the various spider people that it has, like Silk, I think is one of them. Silk is supposed to have gotten bit at basically the same time as Peter Parker by the same spider. So,
It's just
the
a
fact that
random
she's
biting
in
spider.
it, the fact that she's in it before as Peter Parker is about to be born, although technically she doesn't have her powers, but she's in high school, so, or whatever, so it's a little too soon for her to even be in the Spider Universe. Of course, I believe Jessica Drew, who was Spider-Woman, actually, I don't think they had Jessica Drew in it. Or maybe, I'm not sure. I know they had two different other Spider-Women. The one that's been in the black suit the longest, a black suit, similar to the Venom look. Again, she became Spider-Woman after Peter Parker became Spider-Man, and even the other Spider-Person became a Spider-Person after Peter Parker became Spider-Man. And those three are all Spider people. Before, well, technically they haven't got their powers yet in it. So, but, it makes it say about 10 years before they get their powers, and it's still going to be before Peter Parker gets his powers. So, in it, because they do have Peter Parker being well, they don't really show him being born, but do they? I forget. But they have Peter Parker being born because they have Ben Parker in it and Mary Parker. Well, not Mary Parker. Yeah,
Don't they don't they deliberately not reference Peter Parker by name because it would have been some sort of licensing arrangements or something, so they can't.
Yeah,
mention
yeah.
Peter
They never
Parker?
did say they never did say his name. But they did mention, Mary Parker, Richard Parker, Ben Parker. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not even sure whether they mentioned May Parker. And if this is supposed to go in conjunction with
They just
the
referred to Peter
Marvel,
Parker as not Peter Parker.
Yeah.
well, he's not even born yet. Like he's in the womb of his mother.
Fetus Parker.
Yeah.
Peter Parker.
So So, they talk about naming him and what his name's going to be, but they never end up saying it out loud. Spoilers.
They only get as
so-
far as PE. We'll call him PE, and
Yeah,
they pay him all
They
way.
don't even go that far. But it's Peter Parker because of everybody that's around. I don't even think they include May Parker in this. Although, Ben's saying that he's found somebody that he likes, that he's into, but they don't show who it is. Don't say her name. So again, that might be another problem, with licensing arrangements or whatever. But then again, I would think they would be able to because technically they own the rights to the franchise. They're just letting Marvel use it. I don't know. It's just weird in that way. But yeah, if it wasn't supposed to be these characters from Marvel, it probably wouldn't have been it wouldn't be too bad of a movie. But then
Yeah.
again, it probably wouldn't get close to the attention that it did because of that either.
Yeah, no one would ever have heard of like a mediocre movie about like 5 women with spider powers from the Amazon. That would have there wouldn't be a marketing budget large enough to get that.
They were all
into
from the
a lot of-
Amazon.
No, they
Yeah,
weren't all
her-
from it. No,
Her mother was
just
from
the
the
one.
Amazon.
No, the mother wasn't even from the Amazon. The one's mother wasn't even from the Amazon. She went down there to look into this spider, that had supposed healing properties. And then she was pregnant with her daughter at the time. And I don't want to say too much. I know nobody here's going to go see it, but, I don't want to give too many spoilers.
I was never big on the whole Spider-Man thing. I thought he was a whiny little bitch. No offense.
But technically, Madam Web doesn't have spider powers. She's just got more of the precognition type thing. And, she can see alternate realities or whatever, or something like that, I'm not sure exactly how it works, Madam Web. I don't know a lot about her. The most I know about her is I've seen her a little bit in the comics, but the most I remember from her is from the Spider-Man animated series in the 90s.
I read a comic with her like 30 years ago, but she was like an old blind woman in a wheelchair or something. Like her being a
Yeah.
teenager is totally
Well,
non-canon.
in this, she's not a teenager. She's a young adult. She's probably about 30. Well, no, she'd be about 20, because it's 1973 when she's been given birth. No, she would have been 30 in it because the main part of the movie takes part in 2003. So
Okay,
that's
and she was
3
born
years.
in 1973.
Yeah. So she would have been 30. The other other three characters are, from New York, basically. And they don't actually even have spider powers in this yet either, at all. So,
Well, there's never going to be a sequel, so there's never going to be any chance of them getting spider
Yeah.
powers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although they, maybe somehow they might include them into the Marvel Cinematic Universe at some point if they ever get the rights back or whatever. Who knows? But maybe they'll be done a little bit better.
I'm just glad
But,
they're doing away with the politically correct Punisher.
yeah. It's just I'm not sure how they would do so. Well, even Marvel, in my opinion, has messed up Peter Parker or Spider-Man because if when you watch, I realized after watching sometime a little bit after watching all movies, or especially I think the last one where May dies. Spoiler. That she was never married to Ben Parker. There was never a Ben Parker in the thing, in the continuity from what I get. So it's like,
Yeah,
how the
that was
hell is she
dumb.
made Parker? How is she made Parker at that point? How is she related to her? I think you get my point. I can take her being young. I can see that. But the fact that she's there's no Ben Parker, which is Ben is Richard Parker's Spider-Man's father, brother. You know that just messes everything up in my opinion. And there's been worlds where what if May died instead of Ben Parker too, so. And then there's been, alternate universe where they both lived. I know in the Spider-Man animated series in the 90s, they showed an alternate version of Peter Parker where Ben had lived. So.
Yeah, that was always Ben's one of those characters that was born to die, though, like Batman's parents. You just don't have Spider-Man without Uncle Ben dying, and you don't have Batman without his parents being killed in the alleyway.
Because it's the event that causes what happens.
Yeah, it's the foundation of their characters, the formulation of their characters.
You can't have a well-adjusted Batman.
Yeah, a well-adjusted Batman dude who goes out late at night in a bat suit with a leather cape and beats up criminals. Yeah,
you're like, wait, did you have a tragic event? And he's like, no.
No,
my parents were both.
This is just what I do. I'm well-adjusted. It's like my therapist says I'm fine.
The thing is, with Spider-Man, he got his powers before Ben died, so
But he squandered them.
Spider-Man.
He was in wrestling competitions and using them for personal gain. He was squandering these powers. It's only when he learned that with great power comes the responsibility. Yeah.
And in that one where it shows that in the 90s animated series, he becomes, he becomes almost like a Tony Stark, it seems. Just from the little bit that they, show you of the character, because it's, he ends up teaming up with the Peter Parker, main Peter Parker of the animated series, teams up with, 4 or 5 other Peter Parkers, Spider-Man. Really, the beginnings of the Spider-Verse, you might say. And I think Madam Web is actually involved in that, too.
So Miles Morales wasn't even vaguely inferred in Madam Web. They totally left Miles Morales out of it.
Yeah, I don't think so. I can't think
He's
of
probably
anything.
not owned by Sony, so I imagine they didn't have a choice.
Yeah. I can't really think of anything that was mentioned. And it didn't seem too woke-ish or whatever, cringy or whatever, the movie, But then I also went to see another movie, not comic book related, called Ordinary Angels, based on a true story, and that was spectacular, in my opinion. I'm not sure whether you guys have seen the trailer for that or not, or even heard of it.
What's it about?
It's about a man, a man and wife. Well, she ends up dying about 5 years after they have a child. The child has some sort of something where she she's been battling with something that for like two and a half, 2.5 years of her life, of the 5 years that she's been alive, that she basically needs a some sort of transplant. I think it's liver transplant. Otherwise she's gonna die. And this woman that just happens to read about her in the paper ends up, coming to their aid, and she's got her problems, of course, which they go into a little bit of, raising money and all that, a lot of fundraising, and all that. It's a good heartwarming story for sure. And like I said, it's based on true events, and I'm probably not giving it justice. I would, after you're off here, to look up Ordinary Angels, trailer here on YouTube. Probably you can see it. I only paid $3, but I'd say it's worth a, regular fee to go into the thing and see myself. Where Madam Web, it was all right of a movie. I'm glad I only paid $3 to go see it.
Well, can you pull up the trailer and we could watch it if it's only like 2 minutes long?
Yeah.
Has anybody been watching? I mentioned this to a few people, but the Shogun miniseries.
I watched the original and loved it, and
I love that too.
Yeah, I've been watching a few episodes of that I happen to have downloaded on my computer, but I want to watch the. That's on my to-do list. Probably.
Oh,
later
it's so
this week.
good. I think it's just it might be good just as, but or maybe just as better as the original because they're trying to make it as authentic as possible.
Oh wow!
Like none of the Japanese characters actually speak English except for maybe his interpreter.
Oh wow! Oh okay, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're into subtitle reading, you're going to do a lot of that.
That's good. Yeah, no, I just got a new set of glasses so I can actually read subtitles again.
There you go.
Powers were declining the last couple of years.
Yeah. No, I mean
How
some
are the
episode,
special effects?
I would say good enough to like it doesn't annoy me. So
Yeah.
but the one episode where he decides to run the blockade instead of get hanged, awesome.
Yeah, I just remember there were some awesome highlights to that show, like the ninja attack when they're killing the castle, and the second in command, like the major domo of the castle, not the lord, runs around and he keeps passing by these guards standing in twos, and he sends them to go get the ninjas, and they just go and just get effortlessly slaughtered, and he does that time and time again, and they say this guy's like determined to live. That's a scene I remember from when I was like 10 years old and saw the Shogun. Just this guy
Richard Chamberlain was awesome in that one.
Yeah, when he was just mercilessly sending these guards off to their death to preserve his own life, and they kept going. That stayed with me for my whole life. I remember that scene.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, so here's the trailer. Here's the trailer. It's about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So
Lionsgate, huh?
Yeah, it's got Hilary Swank.
hopefully you'll be able to see in here.
Yeah.
My name is Sharon, and I'm an alcoholic with a splitting headache.
My advice: find a reason to be here. That's bigger than you are.
I read about this family in the paper. I think this is it.
Yeah, we have a situation. Come on, look pretty for mommy.
Well, maybe just a little off the cheeks.
Yeah.
Getting a little glitchy there.
We with
Something about that little girl mom. The drive from all the hospital bills. I think it's supposed to. And You'll fit right. 400,000 plus in medical bills. All 3 credit cards maxed out. Your income. That's mine. Good at plenty.
Daddy's in over his head.
You're asking.
Michelle will need to fly 700 miles to the Children's Hospital.
Are you telling me we need a plane now?
How is
Dave here.
Need a lot of shelter.
hello?
I think my StreamYard's froze, or maybe not. Maybe just Rick's YouTube.
I think
is
yeah,
frozen.
I think the YouTube thing, it was getting very glitchy.
Yeah. Sorry, bad suggestion.
back.
I guess you can't download. I guess you can't stream YouTube and stream StreamYards at the same time. At least not with your connection.
Yeah.
Canada. Curses.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that way. I'm not sure how much you caught of it.
Yeah, enough to get the idea.
mean-
It's one of those feel good movies or something
Those
that's
that
based on a true story. Kind of almost like a Hallmark special, but probably a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of an alcoholic that decides to help out the little girl to
Yeah.
get out of her alcoholism. And although I'm not sure an alcoholic would be the best liver donor, but
Yeah.
you never know.
God bless her for trying.
Well, no, she's not being the liver donor. She's just helping do fundraising. Get the guy's bills on track because obviously being in the States, he's racked up because his wife died and she was in the hospital for a bit. She racked up, like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt. So he's barely making ends meet. In fact, he's having a lot more bills. The bills add up to more than what he makes per month. So she's trying to help him, fundraise, get things back on track, all that sort of thing. Help sort of sell them to some maybe employers or whatever, for some ideas that he has. I don't want to give too much away about the movie, but I obviously think it was worth the money that I paid and more. I would not have minded paying, a regular price even at Cineplex to see that. Where I'm glad I didn't pay regular price at Cineplex for Madam Web. Heck, I could have went and seen it at Cineplex that's in Chilliwack here, but they only had it in the special theater. The AVX, that was like $20. It was like, no.
There's
And
this
not paying
new kind
$20
of
to
theater
see that.
at the West Ed Mall. It like served dinner in the theater. Like the West Edmonton Mall has like their movie theater has like 4
Really?
levels of different kinds of seats you can get. And one of them included like food and a drink, like an alcoholic beverage brought to your chair while you were eating.
yeah.
And then there
That
was
sounds
like
nice.
then there was the rumble seats, and then there was not just the rumble seats, but one where like you got smell-o-vision came back from the 50s,
Okay.
and it's
Oh,
like
no.
different than the rumble seats. Hopefully you don't get like the smell-o-vision and the food at the same time, but I almost I'm tempted to try the food one.
Like, Like you
Yeah.
smell a vision. They're going through the suit. That's Ghostbusters 2, and they're going through that sewer in New York.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna go see them. I was gonna go see Ghostbusters 2, but my Sunday afternoon sci-fi companion dropped out. Didn't want to go, so we didn't go.
You mean the new Ghostbusters 2?
Ghostbusters 4 now or whatever.
Yeah.
Or Ghostbusters. Yeah.
Apparently,
Yeah,
from where it has it, it's not that bad. I don't know.
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes some people tend to make more mountains out of molehills before they actually see it. It's just like. Go ahead, Tim.
I was gonna say but they shouldn't call it Ghostbusters. It's kind of like they took Ghostbusters and made it more into like Stranger Things, sort of.
Maybe. Well, they're using Ghostbusters stuff in it. The original. Well, in this one, I think the original cast for Egon plays more of a part in it compared to the last one. But the last one was, Egon's daughter, really. So, or grandkid, daughter, grandkid, or grandkids. So.
Well, that's what I mean right there. They made it into Stranger Things, but it's a bunch of kids fighting evil stuff.
The last one was in like Arizona or something, wasn't it? Or
But
Oklahoma?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere like that.
It's not that bad.
But
it's not that bad of a film. It just
Go ahead.
They shouldn't call it Ghostbusters though. They could probably put it in the same universe though. That's just me.
Yeah.
Well, this one had Bill Murray. Wasn't Bill Murray one of the stars? So they got him back instead of just for some cameos or background.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. That they were all in the last one for probably cameo, maybe a little bit more than a cameo.
Yeah, like a secondary character or something like that.
Well, cameo speaks to me like, a 30-second walk on for in there. They were in it for, a couple minutes, a touch more than a cameo. But I'm not even sure whether it's a secondary character.
Cameo-esque. They had no real character. They just said a couple of lines and effed off.
But they were the characters that they were in the original Ghostbusters. Okay. Unlike the woman Ghostbuster movie where, they all made an appearance as somebody else.
Yeah. I avoided the female Ghostbusters. That was
I've seen enough clips to kind of get the idea. It's unfunny characters with Scooby-Doo special effects. From the Scooby-Doo live action movie. So terrible.
Yeah, I went to see it. Of course, I saw it on the cheap day because I wasn't expecting much of it, and I wasn't surprised at all. Well, maybe I was surprised about how bad they made it. It was worse than I even expected it to be.
I just don't see feminist movies anymore. Like when I saw Obi-Wan, like the promotion for the Obi-Wan TV show, I was like, I'm done, I'm out. They had like Hayden Christensen, like famous actor, not great, but then they had Ewan McGregor, like Hollywood greatness there. Like Ewan McGregor is, at least at times in his career, has been as big a Hollywood star as they have. So they had him on promotional tour, and then with Hayden Christensen, like Anakin from Darth Vader, who's at least a Star Wars famous. And then on the couch, I think it was like Jimmy Kimmel or something, there was this utterly unknown black woman sitting, and she was like closest to Jimmy Kimmel. And like Ewan McGregor was like relegated to her being her sidekick. And I was like, that's all I need to know. I am never seeing Obi-Wan this show.
Obi-Wan actually wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. I think what they did there, that wasn't feminist. That was just race playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do that.
In that, because she's the black woman, we got to put her.
I've seen so many strong black women in sci-fi that they just make me barf now. I'm just like, if I see a strong black woman, I'm like, I'm done, I'm out. You're not getting my money. Forget
Yeah,
about it.
everybody made a big deal about like the scene where he surrendered and there was a female stormtrooper, which didn't bother. I saw it's they made a lot to do about nothing. The only thing that bothered me is the character, the stormtrooper tells you to get down on the ground. They don't bother even telling you to kick the gun over to them first or something.
Mm-hmm.
He gets down on the ground with the blaster in his hand. It's like, you think the stormtrooper would say, "Hey, kick the gun away to me and get down on the ground," something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, that hasn't been in their training, so.
I don't think anyone's ever surrendered to stormtroopers before. I think they've always just assumed that they were going to be the ones to win.
Yeah, I'm just saying that you think any like law officer or something would probably tell you to throw the gun or kick the gun away or something.
Yeah, it's funny how like bad writing, writing's got to be consistent. We might really not know what cops do when they tell you to like get on the floor and kick the gun away and all that, but Hollywood movies have told us that's what you're supposed to do, so we expect that to be in other Hollywood movies. That's kind of, what do you call that, like faux knowledge or something? Or,
yeah. Well, yeah, but you think in real life somebody arresting somebody or getting someone to surrender would want to not have you holding something dangerous that you could use on them.
Yeah, you'd think so. I guess the only way to do that would be to watch like Cops or something like that and see what cops actually do, and when that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides
that, it was a good show. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's the biggest problem I think with the conservative side of things is too often they hear about one little thing that's supposed to be in it or about it, and they jump on it before they actually see it. And the left does that too. So that's just a bad mistake. Usually I like to judge something for myself. See it. Before I.
There is the 1,000 cuts theory, though. Like, if someone has cut you 999 times, they're going to cut you like the 1,000th time if you give them a chance. And Walt Disney and Star Wars have massively earned that reputation. That there's going to be a strong black woman. That if there's a strong black woman, she's going to be smarter than all the white dudes. She's going to be stronger than all the white dudes. She's going to be more just, more better looking. She's everything about her is going to be better. She's going to be morally superior to the white dudes. And then you can just be like little Patrick Stewart or something and sit there and just listen to her shit all over you and then collect your paycheck.
Goodnight Spoon says Dunning-Kruger effect and destructive entitlement. I would say in Obi-Wan, though, that was not the case with the black lady in it.
So was she the star of the show, though? Like, she was supposed to be Sister Inquisitor or something.
Yeah, I would obviously say Obi-Wan was the star. She was probably the main villain, if you will. She was, coming after him.
Didn't she get killed, though?
I wasn't going to say anything about that.
Everyone's probably seen it by now.
Yeah. Don't worry about spoiling shows. Like, we're big boys.
But I'm just not one that I like giving. I don't like spoilers to me, so I don't like usually giving them, or I try to keep them very contained. If I'm going to give a bit of a spoiler, it's just part of who I am.
So Obi-Wan really was the star. He wasn't sidelined in his own show.
Yeah, the only one that would have beat him out was the girl playing Princess Leia.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I saw that.
But child actors usually can steal the show, so that's But they seem to work well.
Did Luke steal the show, though?
There was something kind of contradictory about that. I was like, wouldn't that mean that? Is there something that didn't quite add up about that part about like they had to?
Well, they didn't unfortunately show Luke too much. He was only in 2, maybe 3 scenes.
Yeah, so Leia, the chick kid, was pumped up as the show stealer.
I won't say show stealer, but she was in it. Kids are cute, right? And then she seemed a lot like a younger Leia, though, I must say. So at that age.
Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader though was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Good Night Spoon says laugh out loud. None of the Star Wars shows named after a character after the stars of their own, or the stars of their own show.
Well, Bo-Katan is pretty much took over in season 3, and maybe she took over in season 3 of The Mandalorian. That she became the Mandalorian in the series when Lizzo and Jack Black weren't playing the star. But
yeah, well, good thing they were only in one episode.
Yeah, God, that was one episode too many, though. Holy cow! That's just too much fat acceptance all crammed into one episode.
They had what? Who?
Jack Black and Lizzo.
Oh yeah, I remember. Good Lord.
But even they weren't in that episode that much. It was a possible. It seemed more like something you'd find in Star Trek than Star Wars.
Am I the only one that didn't think that Boba Fett was half bad?
The Rainbow Vespa scooters. The Rainbow Vespa
that part,
multicultural scooter
was
gang.
Yeah, that wasn't the worst.
Well, they were the Power Ranger gang.
God. And does anyone consider like the ultra racist, uber nationalist racial politics that would have to exist in that universe for all of these Asians, black people, and white people to live on every planet and to work in every corporation and to go to every job site, every temple, every store? They all go, yet they've been there in a galaxy thousands of years old, and they're still strictly racially compartmentalized. Like, do you know how racist your parents would have to be? Like, oh, no, you've got to marry a black kid. You've got to marry a black kid. Don't go marrying and race mixing. That's the only way those races would be able to survive in that universe, is if they absolutely did not have multiculturalism. Like it would have to be.
And with all the races that they have in the Star Wars universe, I can't
and yet they still exist. They're on every planet mixed together, but they never reproduce.
Especially the ones that could interbreed, because I'm sure there's some that could, like the frog people, not one episode.
Are you a frogophobe?
No, I'm just saying that I doubt they could reproduce with, a human.
The insect people?
Well, those too, but no, I'm thinking the ones that had the little eggs in that canister that Roku was eating.
Oh yeah, like Attack of the Clones. Who were the guys, the Jamaican guys that live at the bottom of the ocean? Who were
No. This isn't the Mandalorian.
Okay.
I think it was season 1. Or maybe season 2, where it was season 2 because he was looking for some Jedi or whatever, some of Groku's people to find out, give them to him, but he was given transport to this one lady.
Okay, besides the multicultural Vespas, I didn't think it was a bad show.
The multicultural Rainbow Vespa scooter gang, that was enough to piece me out. I was like, I liked it kind of till this point, even though, I was just like, no, too much. Again, a red line was crossed.
That last part of the episode of the season was pretty much my favorite part, though. The one where Boba Fett sends his right hand to go kill everybody.
Yeah, that was cool.
like a true crime boss, hey, those people didn't exactly go with the bargain, so kill all those motherfuckers. Sorry.
Good Night Spoon says the Book of Boba Fett was his favorite. He hated when Mando took over the show, and he says, Goku? No, Groku. But yeah, so also I was at Dollarama yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Or a couple days, yesterday or a couple days ago. They got a couple-
Dollarama.
Yes, it's a discount
It's our
store.
Ollie's.
And they had a couple of collection graphic novels. One was
Oh, wow.
Legends.
Oh, yeah. Was that a Dollarama?
Yeah,
I got to check that out.
and also we got Superman: Panic in the Sky.
Oh, cool. Yeah, the dollar store near us is, I don't even know what kind of dollar whatever it is, but it doesn't have the good graphic novels or the trade paperback sections like you get in Ollie's and all that.
Yeah, the dollar found quite a few good trade paperbacks and stuff like this. Like I got a bunch of Star Trek ones. I've got some DC and Marvel, not with hardcover, but more soft. I've got a couple of these hardcover ones, which I really like. I think I showed this one thing off before too that I got. Right in here, but I got this little thing of Wonder Woman. It just shows all of the covers.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
This is
All that
volume.
cover.
That actually is kind of cool.
This is volume.
Complete
There is a
covers.
volume 1, but I looked up on the website for these guys, and you can order it off there. The first one.
InsideEditions.com.
Yeah. Yeah, InsideEditions.com. Yeah. So yeah, and that was only $2 or $3. So that was, I thought, pretty cool when I got that, and I got that out here. So it's pretty cool. Some of the stuff you can get at Dollarama if you're looking. And I was gonna pass these up, but they were the only ones there, and it's like okay, they're only $5 each.
Yeah, might as well get them.
Be neat to have in my collection because I don't think I've ever read the Panic in the Sky, and I know I've never read the Legends stuff. So
Are they all on Earth 1? Like they're all main universe books?
yeah, this would have been, I believe. Well, I'm not sure where Legends, what Legends is in, because I think that was a set of comic books by itself. So I think that would take place on one after Crisis of the Infinity Earths, and of course before New 52 or whatever the reboot one, the first major reboot after the one that happened like 10-15 years ago now.
Yeah. Crisis on Infinite Earths and the New 52 was back in the 90s. I should know this.
Well, Crisis of the Infinite Earths was 85, and New 52 or maybe it wasn't New 52. Rebirth. Maybe it was Rebirth. That happened like about 10 years ago, maybe 15 at the most.
Right.
Basically when they took the continuity that they had for like 20 years from 85, well, maybe 15 years, maybe more, because a good 15 years, because I'm sure it happened after 2000, this thing, and it's like it was good. The continuity that they had, it was fairly good. I can see adding in the other Earths or whatever, they had started doing that again, but
Hey, Elk, if you ever want to check it out, I have my first 2 issues on Amazon.
Oh, congrats. Is that a Melvin?
Melvin 1 and Melvin 2, and
Yeah,
it's
I
also
own them
on
already. I'm a big fan. Yeah, no, I love Melvin 1 and 2. I think I got 3 too as well.
Oh, that's right. You must have. Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah. No,
I
but
got a distribution deal. So these are the special editions. I had to remove some art because of something that came up.
oh, can you talk about it, or do you not want to mess with
Um.
your
Well,
Amazon shtick?
Well,
well,
there was something that happened. Somebody and there was an artist that had pieces in it that let's just say he did time for something, and
Oh, you're kidding.
I wanted his stink out of my
well,
book.
you probably heard about the whole Vic King thing. Oh,
Not really, no.
oh, okay.
Oh, good
That's not
lord!
the guy who murdered his wife, was it? Who?
No.
No. He was accused of doing some stuff to kids.
Oh,
5 years. Got a plea deal. Did 5 years.
oh God! So it
Yeah.
actually went to court. This really happened. This
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
an internet fantasy.
Yeah,
Oh,
he got out
gross.
he got out in 2017. Yeah.
Yeah. Now he says that he didn't do it. He tried to fight it for like 2 years, but ran out of money, and
Yeah.
to not do 20 years or something like that, he decided to do some sort of plea deal. Now, how true that is, like everybody
Yeah.
says, the guilty would say it, but also the innocent would say that too. So,
Yeah.
Well,
but
anyway, so I
it got
had
found out that.
as soon as
Go
I
ahead,
found
Kip.
out, I contacted Rob Ewing. I said, "Hey, I need you to replace some artwork."
Oh my
So-
God! He was in your book as well. Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
well,
No,
He
he
was.
was in
the
Tim's book, not mine.
Yeah.
the original cover was it can never be reprinted, and then I replaced the cover for Melvin 2 and 12 pages.
Oh wow. Well, yeah. Well, congratulations on getting into Amazon. That's awesome. I mean, that's big leagues. Yeah, I love Melvin. I love the first one, the colored one. I love the color scheme where everybody was a weird beige or green or orange. I thought that
Yeah.
was funny. And then,
That
yeah,
was done by design. I came up with the idea that nobody in my series can be any skin tone found on Earth because people are making too much of a big deal over skin tone.
Yeah, I love the sort of the bronze reddish orange woman. I thought the bikini Miami woman. I thought she
Yeah,
looked hot.
Alice?
She was Alice. She was sweet. That
Yep.
was cool. Yeah. No, congratulations. Yeah, I'm already a fan. I've got all three of I got Melvin 1, 2, or 3. I'll have to reread them.
Melvin 4 is in production.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is it going to be on Fund My Comic or Indiegogo, or is it
Well,
going
it's
out
gonna-
straight to Amazon? Or
Amazon and Walmart and let's see,
so
Barnes
you
and
actually
Noble and Powell's. Yeah.
you got into Walmart too. How did
Well,
you pull that
website.
off? Oh, the
Um,
website. Okay.
Just the website. Yeah, but
Yeah,
you can still go to Walmart and order it and stuff.
Yeah.
They'll get it for you.
You got in through the Ingram Sparks, right?
Yeah, Ingram Sparks through RJ.
Oh wow. Okay. Because yeah, I know with Walmart, lots of people get into Walmart, and you hear about that, but it's a cutthroat corporation. Like if you don't sell real fast, real high numbers, they pull you out just as fast. It's sort of like going to the NHL or something. You might get your chance, but if you don't perform like the first 5 minutes, then boof, you're toasted again. But yeah, no, that's amazing that you got into Walmart and got all that exposure and Amazon. Congrats, you're on your way to the big leagues if you're not there
Yeah.
already.
Well, Melvin 2 is only available through Amazon so far, and then it's going to go on. I think Tuesday. It's going to go, or today. It's going to go. It's going on Critical Blast website.
Oh yeah, it might be heresy, but have you considered coloring Melvin 2 and 3, or is that just heretical to even suggest it?
Well, the Melvin 1 was the color version because that's the only original version we could find in my Google Drive.
Oh yeah.
So the other ones had been sent to the printers, but I couldn't find an original copy of the first issue on my Google Drive anymore.
When you did the original one through Mixam, right?
Yeah. You can still I can still print out the original version off Mixum, but
Yeah, you can download the Mixam files I think you can download the
Oh
PDF.
well, we already kind of it's a tad bit too late. We already went with the colored version, which we
Well,
the
but-
original
Go ahead. Sorry.
original version is the cover is now and forever going to be the Dillard cover.
Yeah.
So-
But I'm just saying you could download that just so you have it for your records. So in case you want to use it for anywhere else at some point, at least you have it that way, if you know what I mean.
I probably could. But yeah. I also got was it Zed and Odysseus, which is like I think a 14-page book, plus the cover and the back cover. That's going to the print
Yeah.
Friday. It's a free little incentive for people to buy more copies of Melvin 1 and 2.
Oh, cool. And this
And
Thursday telegrams, that's not you. This is Tim Olson. That's someone else. I just pulled out Timothy Lee Olson, and it showed me Melvin 1, Melvin 2, and Thursday telegrams by Tim Olson. But that's probably someone that's not you, I imagine. Is it?
I don't have anything called telegrams.
Yeah. Okay. That's not you. I'm just
And
looking at
as you probably know, Al, I did the inks for Melvin 3.
Yes.
Yeah, that's impressive. So you guys are actually
I did the inks and the colors for the cover.
The cover. Yeah. He turned out quite well.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, no, it's nice to see. It's nice to see you guys having some success. I'm too old to be envious anymore, if that's the word, or jealous. I guess, yeah, I can still be envious, but I'm too old to be jealous. I'm just glad you're having success at what you're doing. I used to really wish I had artistic talent, and I wanted to be a great artiste and a great illustrator, but I am just not born with the brain. It's my brain cannot do it. I draw stuff, and then I've practiced, and I've taken art courses here and there, and just nothing that I can. I have no sense of space, no sense of
well, that's when you become a writer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've actually thought of that.
Or since you're not maybe good at the initial drawing, maybe try inking, because then you're just tracing a little. The odd time you might have to try and correct something, but if you don't want to try and correct, it's just tracing and putting those black lines down.
Well, I mean, I used to want to be an artist too, but I don't mind being the brains of the operation and do some writing.
Yeah, no, I might try to write something. How, if you don't mind me asking, you don't have to answer it in public, but roughly how much did it cost you to pay the artist to get your comics done? Are we talking $5,000 or $2,000 or $10,000 or?
It depends. You can usually work out a bargain if you know how to haggle.
It depends on where you go. Timothy's gone overseas to get his artists, so then they can be cheaper, really cheaper. You can even get one set again, and it would depend on most of these people work for page rate if you're doing a comic. Mm-hmm. So it depends. You get a cheaper page rate usually overseas. If you're doing Canada or the States, you're probably looking a minimum of 100 per page. Probably more.
Mm-hmm.
So
10 pages, $1,000. That's
Well, I mean, I've had a lot of good luck with
that's
Brazil.
in American money. If that's in American money, that's a little bit more than that for us too.
In fact, I think the artist with Sid's so good, I actually gave him a raise.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Good going. Yeah, no, your stuff looks great. What? How was the language barrier? Did you?
Not a problem at all.
Non-existent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some things kind of are a little off, but most of it we understand with each other.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Do you guys just text or write emails or whatever?
We talk Facebook.
Or do you get a call like this?
What was your method for the like scripts? Did you describe the page per page of the panel art that you wanted, or did you leave that
Well,
entirely
for
to his discretion, or was
I
it a
normally
mix of
would
both?
do a storyboard, and then I'd break down the storyboard of what's happening in each panel.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
And then, like, I'd be working out the scripts at the same time. So when it comes to editing, we can get the script edited and then get it lettered right away.
Yeah. How long did it take you, or end up taking you, to do your first or second one?
Felt like forever.
Yeah, I imagine.
I'm gonna say probably about 5 or 6 months.
Oh, that's not so bad.
No.
Yeah, that's a 6 month project to get a book in the can. That's pretty darn good. My sister is actually a book editor. She used to be for, was it Bantam Random House?
Oh, really?
Yeah, she actually edited Kim Campbell's biography, and she almost edited Rick Mercer's biography. We came down to her and one other person, but he went with the other person who was a friend of his. And so she edits mostly kids' books now, which apparently, along with cookbooks, are the most profitable sort of submarket of the editing and book market. Are cookbooks and kids' books tend to make the most money for publishers, especially in Canada. So that's what she does now. She got out of the sort of the big leagues of doing novels and great works of allegedly nonfiction. But so yeah, so I've thought about seeing if I could do a kid's book or something like that. Even those alphabet books, apparently, an illustrated alphabet book I've been thinking of drawing, because they're apparently a good way to print money. So you could do like a Melvin's ABC book or like Wonder Woman ABC book and pull in some cash, apparently. A Melvin ABC, like A is for atomic bomb or something, would be nice.
Always for Oblivion.
Yeah, for Oblivion.
Actually, I could actually do that. I sort of did that. I think I got a video way back when that I went through the ABCs of Cross Comics.
I was just going to say, yeah, you should do that. Do that for C is for Canadian Shield, and S is for, P is for Prussian Shield, of course, and S is for Snowdrift. And
there's an actual Prussian Shield?
Supposedly.
We're working on it. We got some concept art. I'm not sure when he'll make his first appearance.
Okay.
He's in the next issue. He's Snowdrift's love interest.
There you go.
No, Snowdrift's love interest. Well, I think most people can see it.
Have you ever considered a book about reindeer shitting rainbows? I've heard that's a gold mine.
You've got that all wrong, Rick. You can't have one love interest for a character. It has to be a love triangle. That's what drama is all about. So Prussian Shield can be Snowdrift's love interest, and either he can be the alpha Chad, and then he can ditch her, and that's why she turns to Canadian Shield, or she can leave him and go to Canadian Shield, and that's when Prussian Shield can still be a good character, but he can hate the shit out of Canadian Shield for the rest of the comic book series. It's love triangles are it, man. They're perfect.
Well, I actually have the love interest of Canadian Shield eventually. I know who that is.
You need two, though. You can't have one. You need two. Like
just in case one wears out, you can replace it with the other one.
In case.
Well, I say all the greats have only had one, but Spider-Man had a few, but his main one, of course, was Lois Lane. Spider-Man his main one was Mary Jane.
You could only patch up that blow up doll so many times.
Aquaman's only had one. Mira, I think it is.
He's a king, though. He's got to pretend he only has one. On the down low, he has like hundreds, but for public consumption, he's got to pretend
they're all blowfish.
Yeah, it's like Diana. Who knew that the Prince of Wales was sleeping around on Diana with Camilla? But there again, that's what he was. So he had them reversed. He had the babe up front, and then he had the old wizened like stick creature, Camilla. He had her on the down low for as long as Diana was alive. Ah, that poor man. He had poor judgment. But yeah, no, you need love triangles. It's great for drama. It motivates characters to hate and to, yeah.
You normally have to pay extra for love triangles.
Yeah, it's usually like $200 extra
And
for the hour.
Good Night Spoon. It's not reindeers that poop rainbows. It's unicorns. Mythical unicorns. I might be a little bit more specific.
What? Unicorns aren't real? Oh man.
They were in the Bible. Thank you, infallible Bible. If you go to the original version of the King James published Bible, you will find one of the animals on the ark, or I guess two of the animals on the ark, were unicorns. Thank you very much for those Protestants that believe in the infallibility
I don't think it
of the
says about them,
of the King James.
It doesn't say about them being on the ark. I would suppose they were there, but because they're mentioned later, I think two places. One is in Job, I think, and then
oh yeah,
and then somewhere typing. Pull out now, Rick. Stop. You're getting the type now. Damn it.
But most likely the Bible version of unicorn is probably referring to a one-horned rhinoceros.
Yeah.
Because if you look in the older dictionaries, that probably would have been written around that time. Would have been
the King James version of the Book of Job, followed by the Septuagint and Jerome's Vulgate in translation of Rem into unicorn. Will the unicorn be willing to serve thee or abide by thy crib? Canst thou bind the unicorn with his band in the furrow, or will he harrow the valleys after thee? Oh, yes. I just love the unicorn being in the infallible Bible. But sorry, that's an aside.
Yeah, but of course, most people, when you think of unicorn, do think of the mythical one, the horse with the horn on his head.
Mm-hmm.
But in that little bit of a description there, I would not say a horse with a horn on it fits that description. So
well, it is a different translation too, and I would argue to say they probably aren't held to the standards they are now when translating.
Yeah, that is to be realistic about it. It's just it is something about when you translate the names of flora and fauna. That's why they have these incredibly complex, Latin systems of names, because there are simply way too many variations of way too many species and subspecies of animals and plants to actually have sort of an accurate colloquial or popular name, like a dog or whatever. There's so many different varieties of dog that if you try to name every species and subspecies, you have to use multiple Latin names, like compound words to describe them. And that was true back when they were translating the Bible, of course, as well. So basically it's almost random how plants and animals are translated sort of before the 19th or 20th century.
Well, on the other hand, also they also had to, nowadays they have to have as close to the original translation as possible, or else they have to scrap the whole thing and start over.
Yeah, and that certainly wasn't all the case. It used to be the translator would feel that part of his contribution to the literary work was to add a little bit in, make it a little bit better. That was part of the translation, was you'd make something more topical, or you'd make it a bit better than you started with. You'd use your education and your learning to improve the original work. And that's really only like an 18th, 19th, or even 19th and 20th century idea, that a translation of a literary work should be as true to the original as possible. That's definitely, even Victorians didn't think that. Like, they Bowdlerized, all the Greek myths and all the myths like Charlemagne and King Arthur and so on. They redid them and updated them and put their own 19th century Victorian ideals in them.
You're talking about people who made piano leg skirts so people wouldn't get
Yeah.
aroused by
by that hot piano ankle. Yeah.
Is that oak? Oh,
Yeah, exactly. That's polished. Oh my God, it's polished.
I'm gonna get some splinters tonight if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Says he's heard otherwise. I guess that it's reindeer and not unicorns.
Well, gosh, it's almost it's past my bedtime, believe it or not. I am old and decrepit, and I am usually asleep by 20 minutes ago.
Well, damn.
But, yeah, so no, it's been nice meeting with you, famous comic book authors and Amazon selling artists online.
No, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Famous? I'm not sure whether I'd go that far. Yeah.
You'll see. You'll see. You'll
Yeah.
see.
Well, yeah. No.
Well, like I said, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on, Elk. You're welcome anytime. You can just let me know if you want the link or whatever.
Yeah, I don't quite know how to get. Actually, if I put oh no, you already have my email address, don't you?
Yeah.
Because I just don't Twitter, and I loathe social media. The only social media I use are YouTube, because and there's no photographs of me online. There's no
None.
So none. Well, there's one friend of mine put me in the background in the dark of one of his Facebook photos for like a week. And when I found out about it, I asked him to take it down. But that Facebook photo was still, it didn't have my name on it, thankfully, but it's still in like the Facebook data archives to be mined by anyone, with facial recognition technology or whatever.
They found him.
Yeah, but other than that, there's only that one photo of mine online, and that was only up for a week, like 15 years ago. So, but no, I just loathe social media. I just see it as, except for YouTube. So I don't.
Well, before I started YouTube, like, I don't know, 10 years before I started YouTube or something like that, I went on Twitter once. Like everybody, it was all the age, right? So it's like, okay, I'll check it out. And it's like, okay, oh crap, this is not for me. It's like people are just tweeting about what they had for breakfast or whatever. It's like, okay, buy it. The only reason I got on it again is because of doing
Sell your
YouTube.
book. Yeah.
Well, that, and everybody was creating these DM groups to be able to invite people on their shows and stuff like that. Easy, it's a great way to do it. For those that have it, create a DM group, and instead of putting it in the chat, right? You don't really want to put it in chat or emailing a whole bunch of people.
I mean, I've learned the ins and outs of social media since the days of MySpace. So
yeah,
and
the more I've been exposed to it, the less I liked it. And I was a civil servant. I was a federal civil servant in a tiny, tiny town where even my personal emails would be clipped and sent to the superintendent if I said something out of line or risque or whatever. So it was just ridiculous, like living in a small town and being a civil servant. Both of them are like two strikes of having like the torch carrying brigade after you to begin with. And I was just like, I'm out. No more social media. But yeah, thanks a lot for inviting me on. And maybe next week if I'm around, I'd love to join you again for the chill stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Have a good night, and it's nice to finally meet you. I guess by voice, if not by.
Yeah.
Or it's you. Yeah, I've heard your voice often, Mr. Olson. But it's nice to meet you or be able to converse with you. And have a good night.
Oh yeah,
guys.
likewise.
Thanks.
Yeah. And hello, Batgoat. How are you this evening? It's been a while.
No, Batgoat.
And everybody, if you could hit that like button and share this out if you haven't already, it would be much appreciated. We're trying to build up a community here. I just got up to 835 tonight. So today,
big baller.
Yeah, well, I was at 834 a few days. I'm slowly getting up there. The 900 mark is what I'm put. Well, probably 850, then 900, 950,
Yep.
1,000.
Up and onwards.
Ultimately, it's 1,000. Well, obviously, it's millions. I would like, but
Yeah, we gotta do.
Right now I'll settle for the 1,000 and be able to actually monetize. Well, actually, the other thing that I need to do is I actually could monetize, but I need people watching now, watching my streams and stuff to get me up to the 3,000 hours. Although I probably need to start doing more stuff. Although I've been putting out some videos every day now for a couple weeks. The possible music. So it's just something to grab attention. If I'm putting out something every day on my channel, and it's something small, hopefully, it's a minute long, maybe a minute and a half. It'll get people,
There you go. That's
getting some people to subscribe, and maybe, they'll come to a live stream,
yeah,
learn
totally.
about my books, and other people's books,
Yeah, so far so good with me. I mean, it's not a huge number, but it was a total of possibly 11 books so far. It's only been a month.
Cool. As as it's up there, more people find out, more people buy. Good night, Spoons. Have you considered making enough content to watch? Me? I don't have enough. I don't have enough content to watch already.
Look, Rick
I got
Piper has his
thousands of
own.
videos out there.
Rick Piper has his own style. There's always the awkward silence. That's trademark classic Piper. Or there's Rick Piper. What more do you want?
There's all the old episodes of stuff that you could go back and watch. That you probably forget about things happening that have happened.
You need to have like
you
can do clips of like all the crazy stuff that's happened over the years, or like the awkward silence compilation.
I would like to. What I would really like to try and do, and I'm not sure how to do it good or completely at all. I want to create a Ruko channel. Well, technically, I've created it. I just don't know how to get my content on there, so it can be watched.
Oh, you should totally figure out how to do
that. The hard part is, I think you have to have, have some sort of. You have to put some money into it every month or whatever. I'm not sure exactly how. If somebody else out there knows how to do it, good.
You know what? You should ask Pops. Pop Van Zant.
Yeah.
Because he's got a Roku channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. For real, Joe.
Well, there's something that you probably never thought you'd do. Recommend somebody contact Pops.
Yeah. Kangarooco? No. I don't think Goodnight Spoon understands Canadian. He's Canadian impaired.
Ruko.
I think Goodnight Spoon just wants to hear what he wants to hear. Ruko, of course, everybody knows Ruko is the forgotten character from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. The distant cousin of Goku.
Yes. His power is over 10 million.
But,
so I guess they have yet another spin-off of NCIS. NCIS Hawaii.
Oh yeah, that's been around for. I think it's in its second or third season.
Is it as good as the original?
Oh, Grogu. It's all right. You're getting used to a new series. You got to get used to things. Like I like the original. then of course, like when I first watched, was it NCIS Los Angeles? I wasn't really all that keen on it, but I actually like it probably as much as the original. And then of course there was New Orleans, which
I
I
don't know. The original had Ziva, so you know,
yeah,
and an Italian woman, smoking hot Italian woman, playing an Israeli.
yeah. Well, is that any different than a smoking hot Israeli playing a Greek?
I don't know.
And you do realize I'm talking Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, or Gal Gadot.
Yeah. She's all right. She's no Ziva though.
No, she's better.
Okay, you shut your damn filthy mouth.
Yeah, Ziva is definitely good. Not
Yep.
like I would be turning her away. She wanted to date me. Well, I might if she doesn't know Christ, but you know. Besides that, Rick, why? Why what?
Why are you such a degenerate, Rick?
Because I've been around this crowd too long.
Yes, it's too late for you now.
I've been corrupted by people.
I know, right? Shame on you.
Oh, but yeah, having you guys on and definitely made this show a little bit better tonight for sure. You know,
Oh yeah, time just flew by.
You know, we got another 20 some odd minutes, but hey. Oh yeah, so the other thing that I was going to talk about a little bit, that is, I did check out X-Men 97, although I talked about it on Mike's show, but I haven't
What'd you think? Because it's like a continuation
it was
of the
actually
cartoon.
all right. Yeah, there's some things didn't quite seem to continue on with. We spread the word that you are attracted.
Gold Ducat?
Yeah, Gold Ducat, similar.
Yeah. I think Midnight Spoon's hard of hearing or something.
But well, I accidentally almost did say that, so that's also where he's getting that.
Freudian slip, maybe.
Yeah, but the one thing, it's supposed to be about a year later after the events of the ending of the 90s X-Men animated series. They bring Bishop into it, which they don't explain why he's a regular part of the team now, which sort of makes no sense. He wasn't there in the end. They act like
Xavier died.
Yeah, they act like Xavier's dead, where he didn't die in there. He went off to the Shi'ar homeworld to get healed. Didn't say that he would never be back.
Yeah, but the kids say that he died from his wounds on the way there. You could easily say
Yeah,
that.
but they don't say that. They make it seem like he died of the assassination attempt, which he almost did die in that series. But they contacted the Shi'ar and they came and healed him. So, well, we're in the process of healing him. So I'm not sure how long that's going to take. So they don't seem to acknowledge that part, and except for a couple styling choices, like they had Gambit in a crop shirt, like a cutoff shirt. It was cut off, just mid in his midriff, I guess it would be. Gambit, doesn't just I just can't see Gambit in something like that. It just did not suit him. And then some of the other design choices that they had in it too, for some of the stuff people were wearing, seemed a little off, in my opinion, but just didn't seem like something that they would wear. But for the most part, I think it kept true to the characters, you know, of who they were and all that. Um, and the one thing I thought that it did do in the original series, but I realized after because I went back and watched the last episode of the original series. Hey, Alpha Proto, how are you doing? You missed Elk. He was on here for a bit with us, and so was Mike, although Mike wasn't on as long as Elk. But yeah, what was I saying? Something about the original series. And the thing with Morph that I'm not sure whether it's going to be a thing, but um, they didn't really bring that up. You know, everybody was talking about how he's supposed to be non-binary and all that. They didn't bring that up, you know. It wasn't a thing. So as long as they keep it the way that they've kept it, you know, it should be pretty good. Oh, I know what I was going to say about a storyline that they had in the comics where Magneto takes over the X-Men, becomes the leader of the X-Men, you know, like Charles was. That was in the comics, and I thought it because he was there at the end of the episode. I guess I conflated the two. You know, it didn't have him take over the X-Men in at the end of the series like he did in this at the beginning of this, which is. Oh, you taking off? Good night, Spoon.
He's got all the dirt on you now, Rick. His
Yeah.
mission is done here.
But yeah, you know, if they continue down the way that it is, I can't see it being all that bad of a series. You know.
I might give it a try. I believe people were making a big deal out of Rogue not having much of a booty.
Yeah, the animation style is a little different, you know. So you know, it seems to have a little bit more manga influence in it, or animation, since it's animation. You know, and they do tweak the theme song a little, and I'm not sure quite how I feel about that. It's almost the same, but it's enough different that you can tell. And it's just like, I'm not sure what I think about them changing it like this. Although it's not a lot major. It's just I don't know. Yeah, you'd be able to tell, you know, if you watch, you know, the first episode or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how often it comes out, so I gotta find out.
I've been watching the original. Is Magneto always a lesbian?
He said I never watched the original. Always a lesbian.
Oh, okay. See, now I'm reading it. I'm reading stuff wrong. See, you're beginning to affect my reading comprehension, Rick. Maybe I should sue Canada.
Well, for Magneto to be a lesbian, that would mean he would have to be a woman, which he's not. So.
Yes. Yeah, so does that mean that Magneto has been a flaming homosexual?
No. Although they're trying to. This might be giving away something or a little bit of a spoiler. They're trying to do, although I've heard they did it more than just here. They're trying to do something between Magneto and Rogue, like they did in Age of Apocalypse.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, that's a bit interesting to see that.
You know, it'd be a great twist.
You know, I know
it'd be a great twist of Rogue somehow kills Magneto and has his powers. So not only could she absorb other people's powers, and she'd have magnetism also.
Yeah, well, the only thing is, with that, apparently, he can touch her skin and not affect her. She might not be able to drain his powers. But then again, did she ever do it in the animated series? I'm not sure. The original animated
Yeah.
series. I'm not sure
Yeah,
whether
in fact,
she ever did it.
in fact, Charles Xavier's fired her because he couldn't have a potential energy draining vampire walking around. Don't you remember?
That was not canon. That was just some person doing some interesting.
Oh, by the
Yes.
way, while you're walking out, you can also ditch the Bonnie Raitt look-alike thing.
Rick,
Yeah,
we
that
weren't
was-
alive in the 90s. It's not a spoiler. Well, I think Timothy was.
alive. I was alive in the 90s, sucker.
But yeah, so it seems that as long as they continue down the path that they're on right now, it seems like it might be a decent series. It was sort of like what I was referring to earlier. You know, we hear these rumors or stuff and all this, and things get blown out of proportion, and it's nowhere near as bad as most people usually make it out to be, at least in my opinion. I remember when they.
Some of it is, though.
Yeah, well, sometimes it is, but I said usually it's not.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I don't watch Geeks and Gamers anymore.
It's like I remember back, like in the Savage Land, old people. Am I right? Oh, yeah, maybe in the Savage Land. Yeah, I think that's where I heard. I was reading or heard an article about that. Oh, Casually Comics I was listening to, and they mentioned, I think it was that possibly the Savage Land with Rogue and Magneto, Age of Apocalypse, and then apparently with Magneto's clone or whatever he was, Joseph. Um, Apparently she had a relationship with him. You know, they couldn't exactly, somehow Magneto's power, with his powers, he was able to negate being her draining him of energy and all that. I'm not sure exactly how it worked, but I was also gonna reference. I remember when they were doing one of the newest Star Trek in the Kelvin universe films, where they were making Sulu gay, but when they actually showed the scene, you seen the scene in the movie. Yeah, you could interpret it that way, but also there was nothing to say concretely about the gayness. And again, they were just doing that to Sulu because George Takei has come out as being gay, so suddenly they have to make Sulu gay, which is just stupid.
Yeah, heaven forbid an actor be a character opposite of what they are. Oh my goodness! Like
They.
what's his name? Neil Patrick Harris played a straight character, and he's gay.
Yeah, Sheldon, the actor Sheldon, from what I hear, is gay, and he played a sort of a straight guy throughout the.
Oh yeah,
George
apparently
Takei said it was stupid.
It was stupid too. Yeah.
Yeah, although I
Yeah.
know he had said that he had talked with Spock or Leonard Nimoy about trying to get his character gay in the original series or whatever. And he said that Leonard Nimoy was all for it, but I don't know how true that is. He said this after Leonard Nimoy had died, so suddenly he can't back this claim up or not.
The press just runs to his gravesite to get his comment about it. Dead silence.
But it's like, okay, that's just stupid. And there's enough spots in the original, well, maybe not in the original series necessarily, maybe in the original series, but definitely a couple in the series where you can see that Sulu's not gay. I think it's Star Trek 6, although a lot of people don't like that one. Right near the end, Sulu and Chekhov are checking out the Klingon babes that's on the ship. They're like oogling her and following her around until they find out that she's got this big, huge Klingon boyfriend. Then they're sort of like, we're going to steer clear of that. We don't want to get pulverized. It's just a short scene, but and I'm sure that there was a few times that in the original series that there was him flirting with Uhura a couple times, and I think even Janice Rand, so WE2, it appears they are into interspecies relationship. What's WE2? I think that's supposed to be WE2 or it appear. I think you mean they're into interspecies relationships. Yeah. Well, we know Kirk is. He's got with several.
Kirk probably
Other-
banged everything on that they laid his hands on. Kirk's like, I wouldn't sit there.
But yeah, it's definitely interesting, but my point was, too often some people make more out of something than what it is. Like I heard, it was Strange New Worlds or whatever, the Disney one that was put out about a year or so ago. Strange Worlds or something like that. They talked about how bad, one of the characters in that ended up being gay and all that. And it was just like, okay, you've made this a little bit more than what it was. I never went and seen it because of that, Yeah, I don't really agree with that being in there, but at the same time, it was not as bad as what made people out. Let's see. Alpha Proto says, Alpha Proto, are you aware that Rick is sexually attracted to Gul Dukat? No, I am not sexually attracted to Gul Dukat. I'm sexually attracted to Gal Gadot. Alpha says that's why they made Peter Quinn pansexual in the comics. That was their excuse that he will sleep with anything he finds a connection to. That and they hate Chris Pratt. Okay. Now what's a Gul Dukat? He's a Cardassian. I thought he was containing. The world may never know Alpha. No, Gul Dukat is a character from Star Trek Deep Space Nine who is a Cardassian. It's spelled with a C. Good night, Spoon, not a K.
No judgments, Rick. Rick, we're not here to judge you. So,
He
right.
was leader of what would become known as the space station Deep Space Nine when it was a Cardassian space station before the Cardassians gave it up and the Federation took it over and called it Deep Space Nine. I said what I meant. Oh, you're trying to make Gul Dukat one of the Cardassians here on Earth?
Well, that's cruel and unusual punishment there.
So the Federation colonized the space station?
Yes, they did.
Well, no, they more gave it up. They took it over on behalf of Bajor, ran it for Bajor. technically it was a Bajor station, but it was a Federation station. The first officer on it was Bajoran.
You know, the lesbian looking one.
But they just had the Federation look after it for a while, because I think after the end of at the end of the series, it became completely Bajoran. I'm not sure whether it's State Federation, but then again, I think Bajor became part of the Federation. So because it's Bajoran run, it's a Bajoran station, but they're part of the Federation. That could technically make it part of the Federation too. But there wouldn't be necessarily Starfleet officers on it unless they were, there for shore leave, or they came into that station, the state.
Hey, quit asking things. You all right?
Have
there?
you never watched Pardon?
So you all right? You kind of paused there for a sec.
No, I was probably just thinking or whatever. Have you not Alpha Proto? Have you watched? Well, have you watched any Star Trek, and have you specifically, I guess, watched Deep Space Nine? Well, it seemed not. Just thinking of Gal to go. Gal Gaga. I haven't seen much of Deep Space Nine. Oh, okay. It's a pretty good series. I would recommend it myself. We don't have to pretend. We don't have to pretend. It's cool. It's okay to like it anyways. Well, okay. Good night, Outcast. Thanks for stopping by. It was good seeing you here. I have responded to your comments for the latest possible music video about Toxico. His real full name, of course, is Samuel Ramses. So he could be Egyptian, maybe, by nationality, but he probably lives in Canada or the States for all of his life. Alpha says, my dad watches Star Trek and Star Trek.
Well, let me know. He looks like a big human creature.
Oh, I've actually drawn him. I'm not sure whether I think I have him.
You do a music for a song for him?
Yeah, well, I've done a couple songs for him. Well, more than a couple. They've been up in the possible music for the past 3 or 4 weeks.
I see.
Maybe every day I catch a bit of it. Stop doxing people. How am I doxing anyway? He must be an immigrant, maybe second generation. Who, Toxico? I'm not sure. Well, I know his dad, he was part of the military.
How many more minutes we got now?
Probably. I'm probably going to end up going over here a little bit, but just because I want to try and show Toxicos. Why is this not showing error? Okay, I know I've got it somewhere. Maybe I'll show it. I thought I had it. It's original look. Yeah, Toxico. Let's talk talking fictional characters, right? He must have been born on a military base. Possibly, yeah. Well, that just Finland must be dead from Nicole. Just looking like that. I don't know where my picture of him. You're listening to the thing. Well, I'll find it for next week if I remember. Anyways, Tim.
Yeah.
You want to promote anything before we take off?
Let's see. Oh, I don't know. Melvin #1 special edition on Walmart, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Powell's, and maybe Melvin #2 special edition, which is also on Amazon. You know, it's just an awesome book. You know.
Yeah, and if you want to put a link in the chat, I think you got a wrench, right?
Yeah. Okay. I can do that again. You talk amongst yourselves.
Well, while he's doing that, I'm going to thank everybody for coming on the panel. Tim, Mike, Elk. It was good having them on. It was great having the conversation. I think the stream go a little better, and all that. So, and also thanks to everybody in the chat for stopping by. You guys have made it better too with your questions, thoughts, all that on different stuff. Nick Boone says, I want to promote that thing. Timothy was deliberately trying to hide.
I want to promote the Goodnight Spoon is actually a fork.
You sure he's not a spork? But and Alpha Proto does a clap. But yeah, everybody, thanks for coming by. Again, remember to hit that like button and share this out. Let people know I'm here. We want to grow this channel, and keep a lookout for the little bit of content I'm putting up, and of course, check out my other stuff that's maybe years old. There might be stuff in there that you like, good conversations from times long ago or a few years ago. And Goodness Moon says, I also want to promote the third sister in Obi-Wan and Lizzie in the Mandalorian season 3. Okay, sure.
Thank you.
So with that, I'll say good night, and I bid you all adieu. Hopefully, we will see you all next week.
I'll bid you all a don't.